Yo, what's up? It's the Bodybuilders bringing it, and today we're gonna go over the most important thing in the gym, and that's how to train like a bodybuilder. And by that, I'm talking mind-muscle connection. So first, let's cue the epic intro. So people are always wondering about the difference between bodybuilding, powerlifting, crossfitting, you know, all this stuff. There's so much confusion about it. So what we're gonna do is just kill the discussion right now. We're just gonna hop right into a demonstration to show you what we mean by all that. So we're gonna hop right into the hammer curl demonstration. And you know, hammer curls, it's a simple movement. You're like hammering down, and what it does is it works the outside head of the bicep. They call it the bicep because there's two heads. See right here, you can kind of see the place where the heads actually connect my joints right here. So there's the inside head and the outside head. And there's two muscles in the bicep, easy. And so when you do hammer curls, you're working the outside head right here, right? And you see this nice little piece of meat right here, this is the outside head. And so when I do hammer curls, that is what I'm working out. I'm flexing it right here. Nice and solid, you know, it's really good. Yeah, just watch this first demonstration, all right? See if you can spot what I'm doing right now. Is it right? Is it wrong? You tell me. All right, so in that demonstration, what you saw was my bicep working, you know? It was moving, it was getting that weight up, but now we're gonna do another set of 6, and this time I'm actually gonna do it correctly. You know, think about it. See if you can spot the difference right here. All right. You guys see anything different about that? So, what just happened right there? I mean, a lot of you guys are probably sitting on your couch right now like, I don't really know if that was such a big difference or anything like that, but it was actually a huge difference, and that's what we mean between the difference between the different kind of lifters. The second set, I used my mind-muscle connection to actually achieve a bodybuilder pump right there. And what I mean by that is, when I did my curl, what I did was, I squeezed that thing, man. Just a squeeze. And I held it for a second at the top, and then I actually lowered it down a little bit more slowly so I get a nice eccentric negative as well, which is extremely important because when you think of your muscles, you can think of them like a big ball, right? Like a rubber band ball, all right? And when you crush a rubber band ball, those rubber bands, you know, they start like bursting a little bit. That's how you get a muscle tears in your fibers on the contraction. But when you're actually controlling the eccentric movement, think of that rubber band ball getting pulled apart. Now these things are snapping like crazy, these little muscle fibers, and that's actually gonna be the thing that allows your muscles to grow bigger, more quickly, with a better, longer aesthetic, which is a really neat part of the pump that you get from actual bodybuilding training. So that's a quick example of exactly the difference between just lifting for strength. You get those weights up, you can probably get more weight up doing the quick ones without the full squeeze at the end and the quick negative. You can do a lot of weight with that. But when you train like a bodybuilder and you get it done nice and slow and controlled, that is when you're gonna be putting on size. It's important to keep that in mind. All right, so in this next example, I'll show you guys something really quick actually. It's kind of fun. What we got right here is a chest. And what happens with the chest, it's simply a set of tons of little muscle fibers all the way throughout, you know? And so what we do when we train is we contract and expand those muscle fibers, okay? What you do in bodybuilding training, all you're doing is contracting and expanding your muscles with weight. And those weights, they're simply tools. See, that's what a lot of people forget. People are like fighting against the weights. They're battling against the weights. Like all this like, I gotta be the strongest guy in the gym stuff. But what we do in bodybuilding training is we simplify it a little bit. You know, you're simply expanding your muscles and then contracting your muscles, okay? So expand, contract. You know, you see nice big contraction right here? So what I do in bodybuilding training is I simply add weight. Let's say I'm doing a fly on a machine or something like that. I simply add weight to that contraction. And I add resistance with the weight. And so I don't have to go crazy battling just to get as much weight as possible. The key here in bodybuilding training, the key is to get as good of a flex as you can with an appropriate weight that challenges you to perform that movement. So when you expand and contract that muscle right there, you know, contract that muscle, what that does is that tears the muscles apart with a nice slow eccentric and a nice strong positive. It tears the muscles apart and it stimulates, kicks into gear muscle protein synthesis, kicks into gear muscle protein synthesis, and that's actually going to be the process of your muscles building themselves back up bigger and stronger than they previously were, because they are now adapting to the way that you put your body under this sort of tension. It's really a common sense equation. It's not as difficult and complicated as everybody makes it out to be. That's what we mean by bodybuilding training or mind-muscle connection training. You are fully in tune with that range of motion. You're not just powerlifting, which is powering through that range of motion. That's not in tune with it. That's just getting the weight up. And then CrossFitting is a whole nother beast in itself with all kinds of crazy movements. Anyway, bodybuilding, lifting, that's what's gonna chisel you up. That's what's gonna get you that nice look. Don't be afraid to go for reps in bodybuilding training. You know, this is how you're gonna get a lot of mind-muscle connection. You're really gonna understand through a larger amount of reps. You're gonna understand, you have more practice with the movements that you're performing. Keep that in mind too. When you're doing strength training, when you're doing 6 reps, 8 reps, you have less practice, you have less reps under your belt than when you have this 12 to 15 rep range. You know, you're getting double the amount of reps in every single workout, double the amount of practice. It's really important, especially when you're in the beginner. This is actually super important for both intermediate and advanced. You know, once you get out of that beginner phase and you're in the intermediate stage, sometimes you forget that you gotta always keep the basics in mind. Like Michael Jordan started every practice out with a chest pass. Like you gotta start every single workout out with some movement, with some warm-ups that are actually engaging your muscles so that your mind is truly what's controlling them rather than your ego or just your animalistic nature. So it's really important to keep that in mind when you're getting in the zone on this bodybuilding training thing. You could do, you know, strength training, but a lot of these strength training guys, they don't look that great. A lot of these CrossFitting guys, they don't have the aesthetics, man. That's what we're doing right here, aesthetics. All right, we're gonna get another example in here. I'm just gonna show you exactly what we're doing for the mind-muscle connection on the hammer curls, so you guys get another example of exactly how to see it, so there's no confusion. Let's hit it. All right, so squeeze, that's this, and then stretch, and then squeeze, squeeze that shit, yeah boy, and stretch it out, and squeeze, and then stretch, and squeeze, and stretch, and then squeeze, and then stretch. And that's how you guys do a hammer curl with mind-muscle connection. I'm focusing on getting that thing up with a nice squeeze and then letting it down with a nice stretch. All right guys, so you know, I told you guys that it's important to, you know, just move the muscles, but weight does in fact matter when you're bodybuilding training. And what I mean by that is that weight matters, and that doesn't mean just jump right up to the 40-pound dumbbell curls. Like, you probably can't do that in the beginning. So what you're gonna wanna do is level up. Do something that challenges you now. If it's only 20 pounds, that's okay, but do them right, do them with the mind-muscle connection like I just said, and then in a year from now, you know, you're gonna be building up your way to 30 pounds, maybe 35, maybe 40 pounds, depending on how much training you put in. You see a lot of guys in the gym and they just go and they throw up heavy weight and, you know, they're strong, but their bodies don't look all that impressive. And there's a reason for that. It's probably because they don't use mind-muscle connection, and even probably more so, their diet probably sucks too. It's a hard reality to face, but you need to be able to keep track of these things and know about them and apply them every single day if you're really trying to get the body that you desire. So hitting you with another example, I'm gonna show you one of my favorite upper chest exercises. It's the incline dumbbell fly. And you know, look at my upper chest, guys. You see that? There's an actual shelf up here. I actually put my mind-muscle connection to work, and when I work the upper chest, I work on this shelf. That's my goal. What I do now that I didn't really do when I first started is I attack that upper shelf chest with mind-muscle connection. And let me show you what I mean by that. So first, I'm gonna do an example of how I started off doing these dumbbell flies, because I thought I was all strongman over here. And so this is how I used to do them. So, if you saw that, you might be able to understand mind-muscle connection from the previous example that I showed you. But the thing is, when I did it like that, you know, I wasn't really getting a great pump. My range of motion was limited. I was going like this. And when I do this, it like works the chest. You can see it moving. but it doesn't squeeze the chest. Look at that right there. You see that squeeze, that upper shelf chest? That's what you want, that squeeze right there. So let me show you how to do them right, and you guys can take this home with you, apply it to your next dumbbell fly day, which I know is gonna be soon. It's Monday here, and in the States it's 12 hours behind, so it's about to be Monday for you guys too. So that's how you guys do it. And as you saw in that one, what I did was I squeezed that upper chest every single rep. Get over here, Connor. Show them what's going on with the chest. So, I got this squeeze at the top. And I feel that. That is a contracted chest right there. And then you let it down with a good stretch, and you can see all these upper chest fibers stretching real nice. And then I bring them back in for that ultimate squeeze. And that, my friends, is what's gonna build your muscle really quickly. And not only is it gonna build it, but it's gonna make it look beautiful. And that is the goal of aesthetic bodybuilding. So now you're probably wondering, that's how you do, exercise with mind muscle connection. But how do you really improve that mind muscle connection? So there's really two things that are gonna be the most important to be able to get you started on your road to achieving true mind muscle connection. And one is practicing good form. So if you guys aren't subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe. Bodybuilders Fit. Hit this, we're gonna throw up a little subscribe button right here, link down below. And all you gotta do is subscribe to the channel, because we're gonna be posting a ton of videos on form in the future. And when you get your form down, you start understanding why the muscles move in that certain direction. And then the second thing, it might sound a little corny now, but you gotta practice posing in the mirror. I'm talking about every single day, you have to flex in the mirror. Because if you love your body, you have to know what it looks like, and you have to understand how different ways that it flexes affects the way that your muscles actually contract and look better for pictures, for when you're walking on the beach, for when you're getting hunky-dory in the bed, or whatever you may be doing. And so you gotta know how to look good. And the only way to look good is to look at yourself. So do some posing in the mirror, Like every single night, dead ass, I'm posing for like 5 to 10 minutes. I like to do a nice front lat spread in the mirror every single day. So, spread those lats as far as possible. Like, I used to not have the ability to connect my muscle with my lats, so when I try to do that, I would look like, I don't even know how, I look like trying to get a lat spread, but now I just go, shh, boom, look at that lat spread, guys. Like, that is a lat spread. I purposely use my mind to make that happen, and now when I do lat pull downs, exercise like that, I can engage my lats all the way through, I used to not be able to do that, guys. I used to just be pulling on that bar, tugging it down. And so practice your posing when you got that nice bicep, when you get at that peak. I used to flex my bicep, it looks like this. And now when I flex my bicep, it looks like this. Because I can control my mind moving my muscle. And so what I can do now is when I do my bicep curls, I can flex that hard in each movement. It's super important to be able to pose in the mirror. There's this guy, Ben Greenfield Fitness. He was rated the #1 trainer in the entire world in 2008. And he swears that if you want to get a nice physique, you have to practice flexing in the mirror. And the way he describes it is, it's an isometric workout to be flexing in the mirror. Haters can hate and say that, it's not gonna do anything for you. But when you flex in the mirror, it's gonna give you better muscle tone, better muscle definition, and better mind muscle connection. So it's extremely important to be hitting your poses every single day, and it's gonna make you look better in pictures, like I said. So a lot of benefits to posing to get that mind muscle connection on point. While neither of us have ever done a bodybuilding competition in our life, the Bold Brothers, that might change in 2019, so be on the lookout for that, guys. But dead ass, I could pose better than a lot of those guys on stage. Like, I've seen some bad poses up there. Like, we could do things like big leg flexes. Like, look at this definition that I'm working on in my legs right here. Like, that takes time. That takes practice. You got a little shake right there. Shake it up and then flex it out. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. So these things are super important. In order to develop a good physique, you really got to fall in love with the muscles that you're working on. You care about them. That's why you're working on them every single day. So when you develop that mind-muscle connection and you get to know how to love and treat your muscles right, they're gonna treat you right, and they're gonna be popping out of your skin. Veins are gonna be popping, girls are gonna be looking, heads will be turning, and your confidence is gonna be skyrocketing. So thanks so much, guys. Make sure you comment if you have any questions about anything I said today. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel because we got a whole bunch more coming at you. And thanks so much for watching. Love you guys. Bold Brothers bringing it. We out.